Yeah, Baba. Yeah, Baba. It's neat.
O like show me. I'm going to no ni ya ngweko ona boni nchon. Now ninka fito be ani wabotemi matchale bang bang ona boni nchon. Ani wabotemi. Tamoboni nkebwe Global Info Analytics I'm a release I'm a final poll for the elections 2024 elections ni tamoboni iwe kechonye meni nyefita waye keje eche nyebani yake inyabo I'm a polls sa ona boni nchon ni energy I'm a prediction ni amenha once again poll said they are a snapshot in time. It is not 100% perfect. Can't believe in the polls. What from Shiki be a poll say ke Kamala ba wini say me Trump Jimoni e wini on a boni chon. So it's a snapshot in time. But most of the time any ona boni ma feeling yo on a boni chon. So me junoni I'm a final poll ke konak bene what break it down into the various things ni I'm a kwe. No ni ane I'm a bad naked conclusion there on a boni chon. So poll edienche mini jino ni poll based on my modalities na me use am sample size me can be na me try a phone no internet na me ti akuchi ami me na me ka me gbasane can be so now base case ake akwako noko ke afon shiki based on ameni bi eni ya no te oshiki ba ya leten now your screen no owner I mean chono kwake oshiki ke o factor in some just basically nibi na me kwe nibi na me botemi nibi na me ke we me na me ke gbasani akuchi ami na me take me ke compare no ni be kome chuchuko oshiki fo ke nibi na on President Mahama ba winning by 52.2%. 52.2%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ebana 41.4%. Obana ke inkengme screen no. Alan Kojo Chiremantin eba puli 2.5%. Nana Kwame Bediakun eba puli 3%. So ya amesusu momie Nana Kwame Bediakun eba napo fe Alan Kojo Chiremantin ni agbenenwe party bibi ani yo me amebana less than 1%. So keji okwe base case na I'm in faith based on everything na me gie noko yemie onake keji oka lanchore mantin ke Nana Kwame Bediakun ji cheda ke other political parties bibi oka ameno me se fita Dr. Bawumia no e podi enche President Mahama eba femini eba win election say so it's anona ke kame ke JM afa she boli agroni from na kan twi be ke like I said poll say it is just a snapshot in time she keji won go by no ni amewie but election oshiki na ba for ho ni ba ne definitely a President Mahama ba win agbena wa kwani bi e koma no na amedomo ni ameka ba ne ke conclusion ona boni ncho matwale bamba ni nkafite obi. Now, to be now, mind you, can make no fe no woman na me je no koyemi. President Mahama ba win by 52.2%. Dr. Bawumia ba na 41.4%. Now, many ame fia me 3D ya keke chonwe echoshipon numonenjo la chonjo. Ame ba ya no ni ame ba fon shikie ame blofo cha ame committed voters. They are committed to voting. Ona boni ncho. So as separate ame now. Keji okwe obana ke no me say chake that much no we onake President Mahama na 51.9%. Ona boni ncho 51.9%. Ni Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na 40.1%. So nake no me say chake chon ke base case President Mahama na 52.2%. She ke otele committed voters say 51.9%, which is basically 52%, called roundly up. Now, Dr. Bawumia na 41.4%. The base case, ke over committed voters say na 40.5%. No call round number, but roundly to 41%. Ona bonincho. So no ke okwe obana ke echake no kochon ona bonincho. Now, so ke okwe bodencho bana ke oshiki na ba phone. It is more likely than not ake John Mahama ke NDCB amebaye oshiki eni Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia hover around the 40% mark. The only thing they check your committed voters say me onake Alan no me say a drop of fuel ni cheda no me say ya ngwen fuel. So many they are committed to voting. They are actually committed to voting more for Nana Kwame Bediako than Alan Chiramantin. She overall, President Mahama across the 51%, 51.9%. President Mahama now almost 52% at ease. So, Keji Moko Nkebwake election, Ebaya runoff, based on Global Info Analytics, be a poll, runoff Bami, President Mahama a winning one touch. A winning one touch. There will not be a runoff. Now, in a post, Komeni. Moko releasing more than likely. Now, may accuse of Global Info Analytics be I'm a poll lean or more towards NDC. There is this other guy only in Kwale CD News ni lewu menke like MPP be a professor ni. Now, lewu chono kwake. It is very likely ake poll buy a runoff ni ke at a runoff MPP be Dr. Baumia a better chance at winning than ke poll runoff. On abonijo shikeji okay Global Info Analytics be ni ete chombo ake President Mahama a winning one time ni ebana almost 52% of the vote. Now, take parliamentary seats say by alete. Now, once again, Global Info Analytics say kenye baake parliament this republic I mean currently number say it's even 137 and I think one independent ni a caucus with the NPP no one now majority. So we have a split parliament. Number say both parties say 137 ni one independent and a caucus with the NPP no ni ehani amefe majority ame form majority. So far boli be as to May 4 ni running as independent Speaker of Parliament declare NDCB ake wo kemene ni formally MPPB ji amame yedwe ame chake ame political status from being MPP members to independent members be churcholete NDCB ame 137 still intact ni wo be ame ba form majority ni afenyo marking ligi majority leader bi and allow MPP bi ahi enyelo ye parliament ekete court ni Supreme Court ye ehale no say wana ke speaker efemini put parliament to recess synodai jiake indefinitely I'm a best specific be ni amekwa kwa me say she afenyo marking my letter parliament speaker koni speaker I recall parliament in ake speaker I recall parliament December 16th. So that will be after the elections on Aboninchon. So keji afonshiki te parliament ba ya leten seats enye NDC bana seats enye MPP bana. Now Global Info Analytics bi enke wake NDC bana 150 parliamentary seats ni 99 seats baya kia MPP biye. So kaji afonshiki I'm a prediction now I'm a few NDC bana 150 parliamentary seats ni MPP biye bana 99 seats. Now 26 toss up kake toss up meaning it could go either way. Either MPP biye banye winning 26 seats ni ameka will toss up column allo NDC biye banye winning na can toss up seats she komonoko interestingly. Now kaji oke toss up fe ha MPP amenama abafe 115 iliake ima say accurate ona boninchon amenama abafe amenama abafe 125 so still obanake NDC still based on prediction any Global Info Analytics BFA based on nibi na mefe onake NDC still by winning majority of the seats in parliament. Koke toss up seats say MPP be amenama say about 125 to 150 for NDC. So still NDC they are not only winning presidential one touch President Mahama winning shimo amebana still amebana majority of the seats in parliament. Ona bonincho. Now awakwe key issues for voters miniji sajin 3D ni me edumono ni amekba fon shiki alo me ba domono ni amekba fon shiki inkek me screen no ehabo ni okweke okwa ba na ke economy Now, 26% of Ghana's population vote based on the economy. 26%. It's the economy. Stupid. James Carville, a favorite quote, ni stay for now. Under Bill Clinton, James Carville, one of the chief strategists, Bill Clinton, money make a statement. It's the economy. Stupid. Ona bonincho. Ni nakainoji boni yale Ghana. 26% of many amepole amebafon shike based on the way ni economy affair. No kaji Dr. Baumia kebwake economic messiah ne kaji ayuake Dr. Baumia fairly when it comes to the economy. Onake Ghana bi ya amesusu momie amena akeshi lele Dr. Baumia fairly. Because KG, vote on the economy. Allow key issue, the important one of not one. It is the most important issue. Ni Ghana being voted, Now voting on the economy. Nika Dr. Baumia Ebomoden ni tomoboni ani wofe wanake uleji economic messiah. Obana ke shukwe esani ewini she on the economy ni Ghana being voted eba lose is hovering around 41%. Ni chwanke ebo mode efiti economy ni Ghana be fair na. Now the second important issue ni Ghana be voted yeji jobs. Now jobs ke economy you can tie it together. If the economy is okay, there will be a lot of jobs. Economy and chuni ojoba onaye nuchumoami. If the economy is better, you find it in jobs. Ona boninchon ke inflation. Two things ni me ko bi me can define economy makebo. Two things, jobs and inflation. Jobs and inflation. Nakanji economy ye min susumomi. Wa many woje economies jiwo. Ko ke me can define economy. E amoko nenu chichie. Two things machemabo. Jobs ke inflation. Ama form economy. Nibi ajala ke nuchumo ni yo mami. Ona boninchon once again there. So when you have 26% come and vote based on the economy, and you have 22% of the population kebwake vote based on jobs, meaning kebwake it is part of the economy. Esanona ke elelake Dr. Baumia ebokomode ni Akufo-Addo ke MPP amebokomode now. Come on. KG okay 22% niji jobs no ke 26% niji the total economy or put like a number set together about 48. So 48% of the population kebo no gwake mami ejegbe ewa economy efite ni nuchumo be ni nuewo ameba fonshiki John Mahama Dr. Baumia ba lose. Now come the next important thing ni kebo ake mami efunwa has got to do with education. This time around there now 17% in Kebwake ameba fonshiki based on education. It goes to show you this time around there. None mean na you may disagree with me, but I know comment section there. Free SHSA a kati don. The idea ameba dumo free SHS no. Ni actually ameba fake campaign. Ni ameba wini ni ame nkea me free SHS na agbabe problem be ke John Mahama ba eba for free SHS me. This is telling you akeshi people are not buying that argument. Me he na kan argument ye don ona boninchon people are not buying that argument. Ame ye don ni if anything at all me vote based on the way ni ame run free SHS the way ni ame fele ame sumo onum shishi. So can you these are the three important issues ni me info shiki. It clearly tells you akeshi ame bo modin ona bonincho. Now any corruption corruption a poll at 5% ni no I would expect akeshi corruption e ba bagwen fe road spo shike okwe screen no na after education, roads, healthcare, taxes ke corruption. If na akpe no ete shipon wa you I would expect after education shukwe corruption ke taxes baba mwen ona bonincho. So it clearly tells you the way ni amerani where educational sector Ghana bi sumo ni nuchumoy be ma mi economy hu efe basa ona wakwe another ni ne. Now, Beside the key issues, okay, which of the following will have greater influence on how you would vote in December in the Eastern region? So, now outside of the key issues, say now me select on abonicho ni Apollo generally. Mini ni biye kong ya me susumo na ame badumo no ni ame kefon shike. Once again, it is the economy, stupid. On abonicho. Now, come on. 34% of we be in your Eastern region ni ene MPP be a stronghold ni cause Eastern region now 10 times I'm a phone shiki MPP be wa economic condition make the way ni I'm economic condition no me I'm a bad domo I'm a bad domo ni I'm a phone shiki ni a poll at 34% ni once again it tells you once again, people are really suffering. The way we be in the Iran economy down, now jobs again, jobs. In Kebake, God came in define economy. Makebake jobs, ke inflation. Those are the two things that define our economy in my terms. Once again, after the economic condition, jobs, nuchumo. Once again, can you put those two numbers together? If you're 54%, so KG Ote Eastern region, 54% of the population ni ame pole and kebwake ame ba fon shikie based on ame economic condition. The way ni ame shitamo mi jo on abonicho. Manifesto. Interestingly, a poll at 16% the Eastern region. But once again, a manifesto a chombo. No ni mo ba nyefe so koshe Eastern region me nkwe promises ni party say nyo in hawa ni amendumo no ni amekaba for election once again ke okwe education a poll at 13%. That tells you once again the way ni free SHS free na kanje mi gbla mo koshe Eastern region ni ami me esumo now, credibility of the candidate, a poll at 9%, e-levy, a poll at 3%. Our another region, Northern region, our Northern region. Now, Northern region, once again, beside the key issue, say, Minijunoni Obadumoshiwa, once again, the economic condition. So it's still the economy. Even Keji Abime Sanye, it's still the economy, stupid. On Abonicho, 34% of many your Northern region, Kake, I'm about vote based on their economic condition. And once again, jobs, Ebamiekon at 18%. On a boninchon, credibility. Interestingly, credibility of the candidate bami at 17%. Ni ole FM because both of the candidates I'm the northern sector on a boninchon. So FM no ebangwen fe the other issue say outside of the economy, jobs, share. What like a northern region they speak for the entire northern sector. That is not the case, but one more than a kind. Ona bonincho, ni chwake kebwake ame many ame yo go no ame nkwe ame biye nyoni ndomoshi ojogban ni chwake moko yemi ni ame hele eye poten inli ake Dr. Baumia alo John Mahama ni ame hele eye poten dani ame nkwe no wa outside of no ani ame kwa no wa outside of their economic condition ke job say education. Once again, the running of the free SHS, I think this education in a poll against the MPP than the NDC 2016 to 2020 this poll on education went in favor of the MPP, but I can tell you this time around the way now me run the free SHS moko tao me sumo policy no when John Mahama promise ba free SHS for me, Ebaya no, ni bande domoshi, on abonicho, she the way ni ame run ile, egba me na wa, manifesto, ete down kla, ame kwe, manifesto ele boli, abanya ke no fe no awo mi, shijeni, no e chwanke eba chuni, ojogbang, on abonicho. Now, our next one. Greater Accra region, the almighty Greater Accra region, Ashewono. Now, ani wakwenoko. Now, same thing, ke oba Greater Accra region our economic condition is very important. No, a poll at 34%. Once again, Tree Make, allo Jacob Echebilamte, a folala ke President John Ajekun Kufuor, omono le min kebo, shewa sitremu na tuaba Jacob Echebilamte, le nganakan lala ni akefe campaign John Ajekun Kufuor in 2000 ame winner. Once again, ke o Greater Accra ni main in 43 na me ba domono na me kefo oshikieji their economic condition. Ona bonincho ame economic condition wa ni ame ke ba fon oshikie. Once again, a poll at 34%. Now jobs, once again, call BMK economy, jobs and inflation. A poll at 18%. So Greater Accra number say Northern region number say Chakemoko Beminchon education poll once again at 15%, manifesto at 12%. Nakayeno credibility of the candidate to a poll at 17%. Once again, one of the candidates say just like the Northern region, a Greater Accra number say the same. Mokome yemini amehele ye wa ni amebadomono na amekwa fon shikie nwe woni efe boni efe. Anyway, Ashanti region. When you may a problem, come go kebwake amefita yekoni mami ya no juba. Come Ashanti region. No nin ko waka me a problem. Come economic condition. A poll at 28%. Now, interestingly, come no ni polo higher. In you to Moganjo. Ona no ni polo higher. Agbenenchele blofo juba. Yeah, Ashanti region is the manifesto. Come on, So their economic condition matter as much as the promises ni me party say make ya me manifesto e matter ame. No wonder one of the poorest regions, actually I think the poorest region in Ghana is Ashanti region. They are I think so. I think so. In terms of education and infrastructure, the poorest region in Ghana is Ashanti region. I don't know. Kebiana Kemi. Kemi Kainoni in Leo. I think it's a toss-up between one of the regions in your north, like Ashanti region. On a bonincho, I mean, party is our manifesto. Ni amekwa fon shiki. Fe boni ame feel your biani. No wonder na poke ya clone for the ni awuye ni t-shirt. T-shirt. Min panify inye ma Ashanti me ni nkwami. On a bonincho. Come on, out of these regions, Ashanti region alone vote more based on manifesto than the economic condition. Funny. How many jobs can? Jobs. So I mean, they don't care. Akame, waba fenabo, I'm a current condition. Ona no ni MPP be badane ni ame fon shiki ame dane ni ashio ame. Every major project in your Ashanti region, NDC ni fe. Kanimo mo fe mo ni ba ke mi malie. Ani mo e ba male be ma challenge ngale ba challenge. Wabaya sector by sector. Every major project in your Ashanti region in Kamini NDC ni fe. Yet ame fon shiki MPP be more. This tells you why. I'm a believer in my friend come kejeti ani maje pode nche ko yam ba ke wa Ashanti ni ne ekoji sikanu ena John Mahama onum shishi I'm a hu amali am yo. No wonder am napoke am kejo ha me chacho am ten o ha me t-shirt no am ba fon shikin boy. How can you believe in a manifesto than actually looking at your condition or economic condition you know yo. Anyways, I will make progress. Now, 2024 election, presidential election, Ashanti region. Once again, come on. Dr. Mahama about a poll 68%. Yeah, Ashanti region. Now, John Dramani Mahama a poll 29%. Yeah, Ashanti region. Alan Kojo Chiramantin a poll 1.3%. Yeah, Ashanti region. Nana Kwame Bediakun ni mo fe mo chole cheda a poll at 1%. Ni other small political parties say I'm in poll at 0.7%. Now, me no poll ne you're interesting. Now, anytime ni NDC banner over 25% of the vote, Ashanti region, I'm a win or election, say. Anytime. On a bonne chon. 2020, come on. President Akufo-Addo, a poll 71.64%. John Mahama, a 26.8%. On another one, NDCB, I'm a contest 2020 election, say, Ajuame. Because historically, anytime now, about poll above 25%, the Ashanti region, I'm a win or election, say. The only anomaly was 2020. No one in NDCB, I'm a contestant, 2020 elections are due. No como prediction global info bien kewa ke afon shiki John Mahama ebana 29% the Ashanti region, which is 4 points higher than Bonnie a poll in 2020. So this is clearly telling you NDC is poised to win Oshiki and Aba from Afine. Now, Dr. Baumea, it dropped by give or take 3 points, 68 to 71. It dropped by 3 points. Ashanti region. So Dr. Baumea, a makey Akufo-Addo no me say ni a makey in 2020. Ni John Dramani Mahama, appreciate by about 3 points. So on a change. Dr. Baumea, a decrease by 3 points. Number say ni Akufo-Addo fe in 2020. Ni John Mahama, appreciate by 3 points. Number say ni fe in 2020. Now, anyway, Ahafo region. Once again, Koni Wakwe, the way ni number say Taylor Ahafo region. Now, Keji Ote Ahafo region no, nimita no quite the way ni number say you're not Ahafo region Dr. Maumia a poll at 47.8%. President Mahama a poll at 39.5%. Nakanji for region Bonnie Ebayale for this year. Now, Como 2020 number say, Ke Okwe 2020 number say, Akufo-Addo na 55.7%. Ni John Mahama na 44.19%. Ona Bonincho. Now, Keji Okwe Obanake once again, Dr. Baumea perform below Akufo-Addo by 8 points. Now, John Mahama lewe ke Okwele lewu lose about 5 points. Ona Bonincho, she Keji Dr. Baumea drop about 8 points. Aboni Akufo-Addo a poll Ahafo region 2020 sanona Dr. Baumea ye problem wa adienche. Ona Bonincho, Dr. Baumea ye problem wa. Now, Nana Kwame Bediaku Kalan chairman between them it's almost 6%. Ona, but Dr. Baumea depreciate more. Onu mshishi ni even though Dr. John Mahama no me say depreciate ye jeme Dr. Baumea no me say depreciate more. Now, our bono real quick. Okay, what about another one me? Ka oshe bono. Now, once again, don't bono prediction ni yo jeme jiake. Dr. Baumea bana 51.7%. 51.7%. Ni John Dramani Mahama bana 37.6%. 37.6%. But once again, common drop between Akufo-Addo in 2020 ke John Dramani Mahama in ke Dr. Baumea in 2024. Bono region Akufo-Addo poll 58.22%. She Dr. Baumea poll at 51.7%. So Keji Okwe once again a 7-point drop. Over and on a boning chonji a 7-point drop. Onimshishi ni ke Okwe te acholete Okwe John Mahama who a drop only by about 3 points. Ona no bana ke yes Alankojo chairman team pool eko inana Kwame Bediaku lewe pool votes. She mo Dr. Baumea na me say a drop more fe abo ni te acholete John Mahama no me say drop. For region Dr. Bawumia no me say compare Akufo-Addo it drop by 8 points. Ke oba Bononwe no me say it drop by 7 points. So he is in serious trouble. Now, let's go back to the economy. Now, Abimake, economic condition of voters compared to last year. Many Abimake ke okwe last year the way ni o condition your ke amount on o economic condition. Me the difference ni your me. Now, come on. Many ke and this is between a week. This a week apart. Apollo me November 8 ni November 16 as a poll May so a week apart. Now many make a condition better. November 8 was 28%. Bona ni a week later now poll me 29% come a condition if it better. So just like it's the same. It's only a point different. Now many make a condition the same between October 8 now sa poll me ko November 8 now sa poll me ko November 16 there 21% now poll me November 8 economic condition the same chakeko. Now 17% unke the same. So actually a drop. Now our quite many make economic condition FA West just a week apart. So many no na me fear of no MPB a fear of onake chi Ghana be. I think I got Ghana be a fear me jomo. Now November 8 51% ke economic condition ye worse. Come on. A week later ni asa poll me ko 55%. So many make economic condition FA West just a week apart. Actually a 18 win. Win. Ni many make economic condition was the same, more a drop from 21 to 17. So may feel like economic condition if it worse just a week apart. Now, direction of the country. And they are very, very important. Keji okwe boni ma yale anima e yagbe nija alo e yagbe bonyono. Is the country moving in the right direction or the country is moving in the wrong direction? Now, come on. 29% pe ke ma e ya in the right direction. Come on, wrong direction. 63% of Ghanaians. So 6 out of every 10 Ghanaian in Kebuake, the direction of the country is bad. You cannot win an election when it's 6 out of every 10 Ghanaian in Kebuake, the way you run or ma mesumo. You cannot. Fine on you cannot win an election when 6 out of 10 Ghanaians in Kebuake, the way ni run your ma amesumo. A staggering 63% of the population in Kebuake, our country is moving in the wrong direction. So look, the MPP is in trouble. Kani mogomoko lakabo. They are in a serious trouble. On aboni chon, 8% ke amebe opinion on the direction of the country. Now, I'll call another one. Now, floating voters need for shiki. This is another interesting thing. It tells you boni election baji. These numbers say a hold. Now, floating voters ni ame for oshiki in 2020. Now, floating voters say what are independent voters. You can call them that. Ame be party ni ame support. Ame vote on amo femo na ame sumo. Depending on the way na ame feel be amini oshiki fon ya no. Now, in 2020, floating voters say miniji ni fon oshiki 2024 ne te ame fia ame yake ame ba fon oshiki ten. Ni kewagbe na obanu no ne wo ni this number say it is very, very telling. Now, ya Ashanti region there come on 44% ke ame ba fon John Mahama in 2024. 35% ke ame ba fon Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, why is this important? The Ashanti region, come on. floating voters both way Ashanti region there in can side by side in 2020 83% of floating voters in your Ashanti region there I'm a for Shiki Akufo-Addo 83%. So he won 8 out of every 10 voters New York Ashanti region ni floating voters Giame. She in 2024 John Mahama in winning 4 out of them. Let me show you now. Dr. Bawumia win only 3 out of every 10. Mind you, John Mahama win only 15% of floating voters in Ashanti region. She this year John Mahama winning 44% of floating voters in Ashanti region. There is no way ni cannot mess hold there. Dr. Bawumia ba win election say. On a difference say, come on, I'm a trying to floating voters in 2020. 83% of them I'm a for Shiki Akufo-Addo. Dr. Bawumia win only by 35%. 15% of them for Shiki and John Mahama. See, this time around there, John Mahama win by 44%. That is a 25% appreciation at least. Oh, no, Mr. Our Eastern region, another interesting number. Now, come on. Eastern region there, 62% of floating voters ni Fonshiki in 2020. Ni ame fe ame yake amba Fonshiki 2024. 62% ka ame ba fon John Dramani Mahama. 33% ke ame ba fon Dr. Bawumia. Now, why is this interesting again? 65% of floating voters ame Fonshiki Akufo-Addo in 2020. She Dr. Bawumia na only 33% of them. Now, come on, swing here. John Mahama and now only 25% of floating voters in your Eastern region. She this year a poll at 62%. That is almost 100% appreciation. Yeah, Eastern region, another stronghold of the MPP. On Dr. Bawumia a poll only 33%. Meanwhile, Akufo-Addo winning floating voters in your Eastern region by 65% in 2020. Now, how about the almighty Greater Accra region? Why is this also important? Now, Greater Accra, John Mahama winning Greater Accra in 2020. Now, floating voters, 55% of floating voters. I'm a voting at John Mahama in 2020. She 2024, the common numbers in John Mahama. Remember, I'm 1 second. Okay, so your Greater Accra, John Mahama, okay, why this is really interesting. Come on, even though John Mahama winning, sorry, in missing here, be an one note say me, if I'm going to be a monalojuba. John Mahama na 55% of the votes. Floating voters ni ame fi ame yaka ame ba fon Oshiki this year 55% Churchill Dr. Bawumia a poll at 12%. The floating voters for Ameshiki in 2020. Akufo-Addo na 75% of the floating voters in Churchill in Greater Accra. John Mahama a poll 16% in 2020. Shikwamo 2024 na kwamo. Once again, John Mahama a winning 55% of floating voters ye Greater Accra. So Akufo-Addo winning floating voters ye Greater Accra in 2020. Bona by 75%. She this year floating voters now poll ke am about voter John Dramani Mahama by 55%. Dr. Bawumia poll only 12%. Less than John Mahama. John Mahama 2020 and not 16% of the floating voters. Yeah, Greater Accra. She this year Dr. Bawumia poll at 12%. So it dropped 4 points. So Dr. Bawumia performed abysmally. Yeah, everywhere that matters. Central region. Now, 100% of the floating voters New York Central region 2020 I'm a Fonshiki Akufo-Addo. 100% of them I'm a Fonshiki Akufo-Addo. 2024 the floating voters ba voted 70% come about Fonshiki John Dramani Mahama. 70%. Only 10% ka me ba fon e Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So come drop floating voters in your by this poll many men are sample your central region in 2020 I'm a fair me for Shikin Akufo-Addo. See 2024 7 out of 10 come about from John Dramani Mahama. So min Kebwake can numbers hold. Once again, these polls are just a snapshot in time. Can numbers hold there is no way ni Bawumia by election say ke eje adu. Western region, another important swing region. Come on. In 2020, 65% of floating voters are for Oshike and John Dramani Mahama. 29% for Akufo-Addo. Once again, this is 2020. Come on, me say in me side by side no kwe. Shike Obadis year come on. John Mahama number say in 2020 was 65%. This year, Western region floating voters 94% carry about for John Dramani Mahama. Dr. Bawumia le ena no me say kula 9 out of 10% carry about for John Dramani Mahama this year. Meanwhile, in 2020, and now only 6 out of 10. Akufo-Addo not 20. Dr. Bawumia na no kula. So the almighty floating voters in Kebwake election John Dramani Mahama ba wini. The almighty floating voters ni wo fe woliaka ka me hwe ame fa me Kebwake election ame ba fa emini ame ba wini. Onim shishi. Now, first time voters ke non first time voters. So many ame first time na me ba fon shikine. Ke many I'm the first time now, but I phone shikine. Common number say many I'm the first time. Another key demographic ni esa ni akesho on abonichon. Now 64% of first time voters. Many men like back then I'm 18 and above. Ni first time now I'm phone shikine. 64% come about phone John Dramani Mahama. Ni many amame for shiki ya je first time bi unji ame 51% ke ame ba ya no na ame phone. So this is telling you okay John Mahama win the majority of the votes between first time voters ke even non first time voters. So many ame first time na me ba phone shiki ne free SHS ge ame saneji ame don ame phone shiki 2020 ewo na ke chimote MPPB aje. See this time around they don't even care. Is the economy stupid? Is jobs stupid? Ni amenfo shikie John Dramani Mahama at 64. So 6 out of 10 of every first time voter ke for shikie John Dramani Mahama. Many me only je am first time in a way win me by 51.8%, almost 52%. Now take Dr. Bawumia enate first time voters say Dr. Bawumia na only 33%. Ni many je I'm a first time I'm a phone shiki ne na 41.4%. So this is a clear indication ake John Mahama win first time voters keme no shiki ame phone. So if you know about enkoye ya Dr. Bawumia onim shishi. Now undecided and I will not vote. Now many I may decide ko money I may ba phone shiki ni all the same I may feel me yake I may vote. Very very interesting. It tells you money ba win come on. Ke o she MPP ni I may decide ko ni I may decide ko aka me ba vote 10%. 10%. Many who ne fear me yake I may vote 22%. So 22% of MPPB if you me yake I may phone shiki. Shikomo, can you say NDCB no one no me say you're interested in. NDCB na me fe kwa me yake me ba vote 2% pe. because okwe MPPB at 10%. Now, many fe NDCB ne fe ya efia me yaka me vote ekola me sumo John Mahama me ka me ko enoko papa be ne ba fe. Only 2%. She MPPB ne fe me yaka me vote 22%. So keja ya fon shiki. Ni o party mi bi 22% itashia. Na me ka me fon shiki ni min party mi bi only 2% itashia. Esa no liake min party bi pi ba jepo ni ame ba fon shike ni bo party pi bi pi ejepo na ba fon shike ni wo definitely o ba lose. So voter apathy voter apathy affect MPP wa this election for NDC just like 2016 court a voter region 2016 NDC bi pi ame fon shike ame jepo. The same thing if MPPB. When you have 22% of your party members, me amefia me yaka ame fon shiki. Meanwhile, all opponent 2% to pay. So no liake oye trouble. Ona boni nchon oye trouble. Now I another one. Now, approval of the president in a Apollo 8th November. First time I be these same people 2nd November. Ame kwa Akufo-Addo a modern bote. Alo te ame na Akufo-Addo modern bote. Come on. November 2nd, 34% ke bomodin. 28% ni Apola ame no a week later ame ke bomodin. So ya Akufo-Addo modern bo mi obana ke just a week apart a normal drop by 6%. 6%. Now, many ya me susumo mi Akufo-Addo e bo mo de come obana ke normal appreciate etenwe. So between a week a week apart maybe ba join Akufo-Addo e bo mo de fe Akufo-Addo bo mo de. Now, November 2nd 60% ke Akufo-Addo e bo mo de. A week later na ke normal jump get 65%. Na ke normal jump get 65%. Onum shishi ni meni me ke e bo mo de e drop 34% ke e bo mo de. A week later e drop get 24%. So ile ni ame ba chon ni ame ba na no ni ame tawo ni ame na. In fact, election e ba fe tough e ame wa kan ni mokola kabo. It's going to be really difficult. Onum shishi. Now, I will another one. On and running cable voter apathy. Now, there was actually a poll. So come on. Many, they don't care. Don't allow I'm a party. I mean, they don't really care. No, I feel like a election. It's not going to change anything. She come on. Ke okwe MPPB. I'm a MPPB now. I feel like no go back by Jamie. Oshiki there is no interest to actually go out there and vote. 19% of MPPB Oshiki for Diame Sunday. Diame Sunday. 19%. Come on, NDC. Only 1%. NDC being feel like Oshiki and Abafo Wanano Kwemije Waisani. So once again, you have more NPP members. Ni Oshiki na Abafo ame ba tashia ni ame fon fe NDC bi ni ba tashia. Ni waliake election ne. Turnout is very important. Turnout is extremely important by elections. So when you have 19% of MPPB ni ame ba tashia as compared to 1% of NDCB. Sano no liake sanie na bawa. Sanie na bawa wa di enche hame. Onum shishi. Now, 2020 elections, party affiliation. So come on. 98% of MPPB in 2020. Common numbers na ni ma abo ojobai. Ken be na no ke compare 2024 no. Actually, nke fair me side there side by side no kwe. This is very very important. Now, in 2020, 98% of MPPB for Shiki and MPP. Only 2% of MPPB for Shiki and John Mahama. 2% BP. Now, come 2024, a side by side no kwe. Ke for only make a 2024 no come on. Dr. Baumia Ebana only 92% of MPP voters. John Mahama Ebana 6% of MPPB amefia me yake amebafo eya John Mahama. Meanwhile in 2020 John Mahama ena only 2% of MPPB. She in 2024 6% of MPPB efia me yake amebafo eya John Mahama. Once again, John Mahama appreciate na normal by 4 percentage points. Now, how about NDCB ano? John Mahama ena 81% of NDC votes. NDCB ni amefon shiki eya John Mahama ena 81% in 2020. Akufo-Addo na 19% of NDCB in 2020. Now, what men okay by 2024 no? In 2024, 98% of NDCB ke amebafon shiki eya John Mahama. Only 1%, one kake ekomepe ka amebafon Dr. Baumia. Meanwhile, 4 years ago, Akufo-Addo na 19% of NDCB. She in 2024, many now poll only 1% of NDCB can bafo. So Dr. Baumia, keji o compare a numbers ke Akufo-Addo numbers say perform abysmally. On a boning show, perform abysmally like a number say a getty anywhere close. Even in the Ashanti region, I'm a World Bank, a getty anywhere close to number say ni Akufo-Addo perform. On a boning show, a getty Akufo-Addo 19% of NDCB in 2020. I'm a for Oshiki, a Akufo-Addo 2024. Dr. Baumia na I'm a 1% pay. Onum session John Mahama NDCB ni for Oshiki in 2020 81%. She 2024 ne 98% of NDCB. Onum session now our numbers ne kaji wake compare nke buake John Mahama a poll almost 52%, allo 52.0% earlier on in Kiabwe. Amateur the right figure say mabo. John Mahama I mean predict ake eba poll 51.9% committed voters. Ke obule base which is almost 22%. So what calling okay. Now I can compare the other numbers say. Now in 2020 Akufo-Addo na 51.2%. John Mahama a poll 47.2%. That is 2020. Can we compare 2024 prediction ne? Obana ke Dr. Baumia a drop John Mahama ni a lose 2020 election say by about 7 percentage points. Onum sisi because come okwe committed voters say ni nke habo earlier mi ba ini elaje yem phone no. Okwe committed voters say ni nke habo earlier obana ke John Mahama e na 51.9%. Ni Dr. Baumia poll at 40.5%. No ke compare 2020 election say obana ke John Mahama give or take make the same numbers ni Akufo-Addo make win the 2020 election say she Dr. Baumia perform 7% less than John Mahama. Now I can compare 2016 when you work with. In 2016 and I've been saying this is very very important. Come on, be it 2016 Akufo-Addo na 53.6%. John Mahama a poll 44.6%. 44. Shikeji okay compare prediction Dr. Bawumia na 40.5%. So anytime you about fair poll and you may need to in call Dr. Bawumia eba lose fe Beni John Mahama lose in 2016. I've been saying this all the time. And keji okay compare committed numbers no okay compare 2016 results it is a cable clearly ake Dr. Bawumia eba lose poto. Eba lose poto. On a bonichon eba come a poll come at 40.5%. John Mahama in 2016 lose mo na lose ko ekoda. A poll 44.6%. 44.6%. On mshishi. So MPPB ne be fe be na me ba fe ame eje mi. Ke chonwen e chonshipon oshiki ne abayi ame. On aboni chon ke chonwen e chonshipon oshiki ne abayi ame. Ni esa na efi obuna pe. The way ni nibi fe efite ye Ghana, the way ni bi fe toton, the way ni bi fe basa, there is no way ni oshikine na abafon amba winning kewa ke keji ame wini ame ju. MPPB e wini oshikine na abafon ame ju. Ona boni chon kani mogomoko lakabo. Ni ole obrantai ni yo gandangbe shikonji ano mi ta oni nganya ayu. Mi gbanye fai nyeka no aha mokoche nyenu. Nyeka no eha mokonye nyenu. O ata onu chuma mokoche nika win ata efo da awu o ko wala ya ache. Oshiki baba oni afo. Ni me ka me la esueshi na me yin patan bi o ya ke aninu ni wata wo ake gandangbe bi afo afe eha wolo. Oshiki fo le eyan kemo ko kebu aka oshiki fo eyan e male tafula che keji join lojibo ni o fo oshiki ye moko ni je join lo ni le eba wo oyi eyan lo ehabo so keji moko kebu aka oshiki fo eyan mo e male oshiki fo eyan wa shi mo tafula che kaya fe basabasa ke yaka ni mokoche ke mokonye ni tafula che ke agbena no ni otawo efe ehabo e kome ko nwe kaya mo kefo ni o ke chake o next 4 years kaya o mo kefo ke mama ke shika ni o ke chake obi ko na bi awose fo oshiki papa fo oshiki ni se na moye fo oshiki boni afie ni wasa afie ko keji mo badumo yin eko no yo hold la accountable eja ko shika yo mo yo fo yo mama ona boni chon oyi wala don wa ake ofe ebe ni okwemene ni fe mo ne o chine ni etama boni nke ebu oba fe politics so when yeme ablade TV I may release polls come any am fe ya Greater Accra region esani wale money ba represent what interest masumu ake wo ka make fon bi ejeko nke chom ameke fio ejeko yesu ake what bi amini je ba ke chele o ameke e come fita ka ameke no me fita aye wo ba gba oshiki e fon sane eko oyi wala don wa ngbeji ni tete obo obi ashon ogenye mojuno
yeah baba it's neat. Them say you want to chop my